So, with UFC Perth going down this weekend, there are a lot of fighters on the card that I think will be in the rankings sooner than later. Some in 2 years, some in 1 year. But I've made a list of the fighters that I think that are going to be ranked this year, possibly after this card. So I, King Hit MMA, will be discussing the top 10 fighters that I think will become ranked this year, right now. And, well, at least the end of this year. So, yeah, let's get it started. But before we start the video, I will be talking about my Instagram channel. Follow the Instagram. I've got a lot more followers than 15 now. We're nearly to 100. It's awesome that you guys are following. And, yeah, give a few subs as well. I'd really appreciate it. Every subscriber helps, every follower helps. But yeah, let's get it started. For the first fighter, I want to start with Ethan Ewing. Ethan Ewing has looked super impressive as he debuted against Malcolm Wallmaker. Malcolm Wallmaker is impressive in his own right. 3 finishes. Like, everyone gave Ethan Ewing no chance, and Ethan Ewing on a week's notice basically just outclassed and got dropped a few times, but really just pieced up Malcolm Wallmaker on a week's notice. And then after that performance, 4 months later, we got a fight against Rafael Estevam, who's super impressive at bantamweight, at flyweight, undefeated, and he pieced him up on a pieced him up on a full camp, absolutely dominated. Rafael Estevam shoved all the takedowns away and TKO'd him in the second round, end of the second round. It was insane. I guarantee Ethan Ewing is in the top 10. There's a few bantamweights I think he could already beat. I haven't seen many faults of this guy. The only time I saw faults was on a very short notice fight, which he's already fixed up. So, yeah, I think Ethan Ewing's going to be in the top 10. And, yeah. And for the next fighter, I think Quaylen Salkeld is going to be ranked very, literally this weekend at UFC Perth. He's fighting Beneil Dariush. He debuted last year, 2025. He debuted against Anshul Jubilee, got a 19-second KO over him. Super impressive. Then beat Anil Asmuz. It's his only non-finish in the UFC. Had a really impressive mixed performance. Good in the striking, good in the grappling. Then he slimed out cold Nasrat Haqparast, who was a fringe top 20 fighter already. Then on short notice beat Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie Mullarkey was the short notice opponent. And now he's fighting Beneil Dariush for a top 15 spot. I think Quaylen Salkeld has looked so impressive lately. I think he's going to be in the top 10, if not top 8 of lightweight. There's a lot of lightweights I think he can beat at the moment. And yeah, I think Quaylen Salkeld's going to be in the top 10 by the end of this year. So yeah. And for the next fighter, we have Alexandre Topuria. Alexandre Topuria made his debut last year, same card as Quaylen Salkeld. I think that Alexandre had the ring rust against Colby Thickness. Colby Thickness making a short notice fight since Cody Haddon couldn't fight him. I think Alexandre looked real crisp in the boxing. He's real slow and methodical. And his grappling is superior. Like, the Ilia Topuria and Alexandre Topuria's grappling is so underrated, it's not even funny. And he looked super good in that Thickness fight. And he looked even better in that Isu fight, who's supposed to be this up-and-coming, dangerous, like, Kazakhstani fighter who he pieced up and nearly finished multiple times on the Abu Dhabi card. I think Alexandre Topuria, he's apparently fighting Bryce Mitchell. After Bryce Mitchell, I could see them bringing him in the top 15. There's a lot of bantamweights I think he can beat. I think he's going to be a top 12 in the bantamweight division. So yeah, and obviously Ilia Topuria is his brother. So yeah, on to the next fighter. We have Alan Nascimento. Alan Nascimento is I feel like he's already in the top 15 possibly, but he isn't. He's on the fringe of it. He's looked super impressive as of late. Really good grappler. He's won all these fights by submission. Has a few decisions, has some problems in the striking, but since flyweight is so shallow and he's out of Charles Oliveira's camp, I think he's going to make it into the top 12 of flyweight. Don't know how far he goes, but I think he's grappling with like such a striking heavy division really does put him like at an advantage. I think Alan Nascimento is going to be possibly in that 12 to 11 spot, whoever he fights next. So yeah, Alan Nascimento, I think he's going to be in the rankings next. Very underrated pick. Like, not many people are going to not know who Alan Nascimento. And for the next fighter, I think Navajo Sterling could possibly be the next Izzy. But Navajo Sterling, 4 fights, 4 wins in the UFC. 1 finish. A lot of people have been dissing him because he hasn't been able to finish his opponents. I think Navajo Sterling is very fresh and new to MMA. He's got 7 to 8 fights on his record. A really good kickboxer, really powerful. Just knocked out Bruno Lopez. I think since light heavyweights, unranked divisions is so shallow, I think Navajo Sterling can beat a lot of these dudes who like struggle to have clean striking. He's got Carlos Ulberg, who is the current light heavyweight champ. Israel Adesanya, Cam Ralston. He's got such a good team behind him. And I think he's going to be in the top 15 at the 13, 12, possibly 11th spot with his next fight. I think he's going to bring on a ranked fighter like a Volkan Oezdemir or someone of that caliber. And I think he beats someone in that top 15 spot. But yeah, I think Navajo Sterling is going to be in the top 15 by the end of the year. So yeah. And for the next fighter, I think Michelle Montague. Now, these fights did just happen. She just fought Mayra Bueno Silva. So technically she's already ranked. But this was made before that fight. Yeah, Michelle Montague, I think she's going to be in the top 5 easily. Now, her striking did worry me in the Mayra Bueno Silva fight. But besides that, her grappling is elite. She trains with Kayla Harrison. She's her main training partner. I think in about a year, Kayla Harrison's going to fight Amanda Nunes, then retire, and then she's going to give the reins to Michelle Montague, who I really think is going to be a top contender at bantamweight. I think she's going to be in the top 5. I think she's going to fight for the title eventually. So yeah, Michelle Montague, I think she's going to be a top 5 fighter. And for the next fighter, I've got Brando Pericic. He's fighting this weekend at Perth. He's only had 2 fights in the UFC. And since heavyweight, once again, another shallow division, he beat Elijah Ellison, who's not half bad on the regional scene, and Louis Sutherland. Louis Sutherland, I know 0-2, but he's fighting, Brando Pericic is fighting Shamil Gaziev. Really hard fight. But with Brando Pericic's athleticism, his speed, his elite striking, and also coming out of CKB just like Navajo Sterling, I think he will beat Shamil, the Blob, Gaziev. I think he's going to beat him, and I think he's going to KO him in the first round. I think he becomes ranked, and I possibly can see him getting another ranked fight in this year and being in the top 8 of heavyweight. And also, he is coming from UFC London, which was just only a month ago. So yeah, he's a really impressive heavyweight. Look out for Brando Pericic. I think he's going to be in the top 8 by the end of the year. So yeah. And for the next fighter, I have, oh my days, it's Mayra Pinto, another super impressive heavyweight. I would be so excited if they booked Brando Pericic and Mayra Pinto. Mayra Pinto is probably one of the fastest heavyweights we've ever seen. 4-0, had a very boring performance last time. Otherwise, has finished all the last 3 opponents before his last one. did it on very short notice, his last performance, but I think he's going to be top 15 regardless. He's fast, he's quick, he's under the last guy that beat Tom Aspinall. He's athletic, he's not a blob, he's a great grappler. There's nothing that Mario Pinto doesn't show that, like, doesn't say he could be a top 10, top 5 fighter. I think there's a few fighters that could beat him. There are some, like, things I've seen, but like a Brando Pericic, I think he's going to be in the top 8, top 10. These two could possibly try and push each other out of that top 8 spot. But yeah, I think Mario Pinto is definitely going to be a top 10 fighter by the end of the year. So yeah. And for the next fighter, I have no picture for Ateba for some reason. That's crazy. But we know who Ateba Gautier is. Ateba Gautier, he's this frigging killer from Africa. And basically, he's just not slimed out all 3 of his opponents. Had a 29-28 performance over Pulev. But Pulev is... Pulev is a very tough opponent. He's only faced like the great opponents. I'll quickly go over this one. He's fighting another Aussie Diaz, a crap middleweight, but I think Ateba is going to get another opponent in the middleweight division, and I think he can be in the top 12 of middleweight. So yeah, that's going to be Ateba Gautier. Sorry, didn't have a picture for that one. But for the last but not least, I think Yaroslav Amosov will be in the top 6 of welterweight. My reasoning, he's 25-1. He was the Bellator champ. Well, there you go, 21-0. He did lose at one point, but he is so good. His debut was against Neil Magny. We all know how good Neil Magny is. He is the fringe of top 15 always, and he beat him in under a round. Yaroslav Amosov, really good striking, really good grappling, and I think he is going to be in the top 8. He is one of these Bellator guys that has come into the UFC and has proven himself already. I think there's a lot of guys he could beat already in that top 10, top 8, top 6. You know, I could see him beating a Sean Brady already. So, yeah. But listen, that's my list. That Ateba Gautier one I fucked up. But yeah, I think these people are going to be the future. They are the future of the UFC. And yeah, these guys are going to be ranked. I guarantee all of these guys are going to be ranked by the end of the year. But listen, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And thanks. Bye.